Hello and welcome to Breezy Chatter. Today I'm going to be talking about Temptation Island, Season 5, Episode 2. The party's in full swing, and of course, we're gonna start where we left off. We have Christopher and Maricela talking about his oversharing, and he did apologize, but to me, that apology was kind of hollow because the look on his face looked like he was kind of pleased with himself. So it makes me think that maybe he has an issue with Maricela's lifestyle. So Mark comes in and he tells everyone the party's over. He needs to have a word with the couples, so all of the singles leave. So we have Hall saying that the party made him realize how much Caitlin was interested in him while he was out having a good time. Caitlin said she didn't enjoy it. So it sounds like Hall picked up on Caitlin's insecurities or feelings of jealousy. Then we have Paris. She said she couldn't stop smiling when she was talking to Tajik. She said her legs were shaking. And we have Vanessa. She said she feels like she's a baby cougar in all of this. And Mark calls out Christopher and Maricela because he noticed while everyone else was sort of mingling and getting to know the singles, they were sort of sitting together off to the side, holding hands, and making a statement to the singles that they are very much together. So Christopher, in usual fashion, couldn't wait to say that Maricela loves women. And he looked so excited about it. So I think that this is something that he loves to talk about. I don't know if he's fascinated about it or if he's kind of put off by it. But he can't stop talking about it for some reason, and it's not his business to share. And although Maricela came to his defense about his oversharing, because she said she did give him permission, but she felt like she was put on the spot and she didn't know how to say no. So Mark said he's going to give the couples an opportunity to say their goodbyes. So they all went to a little private area. We had Maricela crying and still very much concerned about being outed in this fashion. She wasn't prepared for this, and she's more concerned about her family and what they're going to think about her when she comes back home. And she told Christopher she didn't have any words for him because she is on fire. Although she's crying and she's hurt, I think she's also very angry with him at this point. And Christopher, he did say that he knows that he's been very critical of her and he's been very hard on her. And I wonder if the criticism is about her lifestyle. He says that he trusts her and he loves her. And then we have Vanessa and Rob. They're saying their goodbyes. And Vanessa told Rob that she trusts him. And Rob had a hard time believing that because she's never said that to him. And he wanted to know why they had to come all the way to Hawaii and be in this situation for her to actually tell him that she trusts him. And then we have Paris and Great. Paris tells Great that if he does anything that's disrespectful to her, it's over. She's not going to give him another chance. And all Great could think about is her connection with Tajik. And then we have Hall, and he's telling Caitlin that he needs to know that she wants to be with him, that she wants the marriage, she wants the family. And Caitlin said she didn't want to leave him at this point because I'm sure she's getting antsy, she's getting nervous. He's going to be making connections with other women. So everyone was saying their I love yous and I trust you as they parted ways. And it's not long before the singles start to enter the guys' villa. So we have Michaela. She is very much interested in Hall, so they're chopping it up. We have Christopher, who has decided he's not going to engage. He's just going to be the big brother in the villa, no connections, and his plan is to be loyal to Maricela. So the guys also enter the women's villa, and we have Tajik, and he beelines straight for Paris. They're sitting next to each other. And the guys are talking and they ask the women what their peeves are as far as living together, sharing space. And Vanessa did not waste any time telling the guys that she doesn't like men sitting on her bed in their clothing, eating food in her bed. Put on your jammies if you're going to get into my bed. Don't leave water on the floor in the bathroom. Don't leave your towels on the floor in the bathroom. And she went on and on and on and on. And it was almost like Vanessa was not looking for a partner in this, that she was, what do they call, the resident advisor in the dorm, and she was giving all the college kids the house rules. And the funny thing is, listening to her rattle off all these things that she does not like is sort of giving everyone an idea of the things that Rob does. That's pretty much what she did. She just gave everyone another peek at what goes on in the relationship between her and Rob. And then we have the guys talking in the villa, and they're talking about the women that they are interested in. So we have Great saying that he's interested in Abby, Tammy, and Nafisa. We have Rob, he said he's interested in Alexia and Tia. We have Hall saying he's interested in Michaela. And Christopher says he's just going to be, the big bro. So in the girls' villa, we have Vanessa telling the guys about something that her mom shared with her growing up. And that was that all men cheat. You just have to find a man who has enough sense to make sure that you don't find out. And Tajik said, oh no, that's toxic. Vanessa was also telling Tajik that Rob is beneath her. So now it's time for the couples to choose dates. And they have the pleasure of choosing their dates in front of their partners. So Vanessa chooses Bryce, Caitlin chooses Mike, Maricela chooses Christian, and Paris chooses Christian. And for the guys, we have Christopher choosing Alexius, Great choosing Nafisa, Hall, who said he wants to pick all the women, settled for Michaela, and Rob chooses Marjorie. And instead of the couples just respecting who their partners have chosen, they had to chime in, they had to give their opinions of their partner's selections. We have Rob telling Vanessa that she made a good choice. And we also have Rob in the confessional telling Bryce that if he wants to score points with Vanessa, he needs to pull out her chair, pour her drink, cut her food. And if she's not treated like a spoiled princess, she will let him know. Well, and this goes back to what I said previously. She seems like a woman who wants service. Then we have Paris calling Nafisa ugly. And then she had to take it back because she knows Nafisa is not ugly. She had to say it was her personality that she found unattractive because she was making nice with her in the party, and then now she's going on a date with her man. Aren't you going on a date, Paris? Aren't you going on a date with Christian? I just thought Paris's statements about Nafisa were ridiculous. You're in your feelings, you're jealous, you know this woman's attractive, and you picked a guy to go on a date with that you probably did not want to go on a date with just to appease Great. You should have just went over there and picked Tajik because that's who you wanted to go on the date with. But you didn't do that. But guess what? Great is going out on a date with a woman that he's attracted to and that you feel insecure about. Then we have Vanessa. Of course, she had to say that Rob would pick the most stank woman in the group attitude-wise. And Marjorie said, if the people are not hating, you're not popping. So she's not pressed. So we have Abby approaching Christopher, and she's telling him that she's a little disappointed that he did not choose her for a date. And Christopher said that he's afraid of the connection that they're making. He didn't expect to have that kind of chemistry with someone so early on, and that's why he didn't pick her. And Abby, of course, teasing him, said that she's going to have to put him on timeout. It's party time. You know, every night is going to be a party night. It was Tiki Freaky night, and you got to see the grass skirts and the leis, and everyone was dancing. We had Tammy twerking, and she was doing the most, and she was doing it all for Great. And then we had Michaela, who said, I'm going to show y'all how this is done. And she was twerking, and she did a split. Oh, and then we have Abby also giving Christopher a lap dance. I think the women have a lot to worry about. And then we see the girls' villa, and they're playing a game. It's quite tame. It's truth or dare. With drinks, of course, with shots involved. So, they did body shots, and that was sort of the heart and soul of their time. But then we pan back to the guys' villa, and we have Great and Tammy, and she is throwing it back. They are dancing. They are having the time of their life. And Nafisa is sitting off to the side, looking salty because she's going on a date with Great tomorrow, and she doesn't understand why he doesn't have all of his attention on her. So Nafisa, she makes sure that she lets Great know about how she's feeling. And she wants to know why he would ask her out on a date if he's going to be dancing all night with Tammy. And Great says in the confessionals, this is the first night and I have a woman on top of that. So why is she in her feelings so early? So I think any connections between Nafisa and Great are going to be short-lived because Nafisa's already in her feelings. She needs to slow it down, tamp it down. Then we had a small group in a pool, and Rob thought that he was in a confessional, or Rob thought he was having a therapy session, and thought that this was the great time to tell everyone about Vanessa. And he's telling everyone about how she's always embarrassing him and how she has a temper and how he's the person who has to sort of be even keeled, or the person who has to bring her down, or if she's getting into it with someone else, he's the person that has to sort of be the peacemaker. And Nafisa said, well, who are you interested in here? Because you know what? This is not a therapy session. I mean, she didn't say this is not a therapy session, but come on, we're all here trying to get to know each other. And you're just telling us about your problems with Vanessa. Save that. Save that for later. And Rob gets mad because Nafisa was trying to steer the conversation somewhere else. And he said he doesn't like people talking over him. And no one's going to talk over him today. And he was very nasty about it. And he was having a meltdown. It was misdirected anger and frustration. Yes, Vanessa talks over you. You have no voice in that relationship. And here we are trying to all have a good time. And you think this is therapy time? No, sir. We want to have a good time. So can you please table that? You know, Nafisa should have told Rob, you know what? Package that up and give it to Vanessa. Because we're not here for that. Don't do us. Do Vanessa. Don't do us. And, you know, you see Rob in the room. He's crying. And he's frustrated. He feels unheard. He feels unappreciated. And I have to wonder, is this just about Vanessa? Or is this his life story? Is it that everybody that he's in company with, they dismiss him? He's not validated in his circles. You have to wonder. And if that's the case, he needs some serious therapy. And that comes with a fee. And I don't think it's fair for him to just dump that on everyone. You know, try to make connections. Try to keep it light. You're getting real heavy real quick, dude. This is day one. We already know the dynamic of your relationship with Vanessa. We know that she's large and in charge. And I just wonder if he's going to apologize to Nafisa at some point. And then we have the day trip. The guys go on a boat ride with their dates. And, you know, we see, of course, Hall. He's just really taken by Michaela. They both want family. They want children. It seems like they have some of the same family values. We did get to see Rob and Marjorie talking. They both came to the conclusion that they are better off as friends. And that was sort of how things ended. You know, it ended on the dates. So this week was quite interesting, a lot of twists and turns. And I think it's going to be like that with each episode. And I'm so here for it. And that is my commentary. If you liked it, hit like, subscribe, and leave comments. Thank you for your time. Until next time, ta-ta.